Hello team, my name is Mohammad Abdul Jabbar. So I am currently working as a RPA lead in Step One Step Ahead. So today's webinar topic is related to database and how UiPath integrated activities are helping us to do database operation. Okay. So in today's world, actually we know data is only important, one of the important key of success. Like if businesses are running, they are running on basis of data. So if business is huge, so they need to do predictions based on data. The especially in uh, finance and what is the insurance, where actually money is the capital for them. So there, if the data is missed, so obviously their business is going to loss. So similarly, since companies are moving to automation, so even the database operations or back office work related to that is also coming to automation. So depending on one second. So in today's agenda, we will be discussing about few points like what is data, what is database, and the SQL commands. Followed that, we will see what are the prerequisites for automating database, means automating the database or accessing the database in UiPath. And after that, we will have practical demonstration of five real-time use cases in this webinar. So what do we call it as data? So generally, whatever facts present in our surroundings is data. Like for example, your name is a data, or employees details are data, or if you go to e-commerce website, the catalog and all the list of items is a data. So everything can be considered as data, which is having some existence and which is having some meaning. Okay. Coming to database, what is database? So database is collection of data kept in electronic form so that by use of some other technologies they can be manipulated or operated properly. Okay, so database will help us to manage huge data easily, and to manage the data or to retrieve the data or operate the data, SQL is the language which is used. So SQL is nothing is the full form of SQL is structured query language, and it is very simple. If I in means in coming slides or in practical, I will be showing you some queries. So it looks like English like statements only. So, and whatever data you need to describe. Like suppose if you want detail of Jabbar, so you should write, I want employee detail whose name is Jabbar. So you should write a statements which looks like similar to English sentence, and you can manipulate your data as required. And you can even provide permissions also, like I can Jabbar can access first table, but other person cannot access second table. So that permissions are also available, means can be granted or revoked using SQL language. So basically, SQL has five types of what's the categories of commands. So mainly we will be discussing on three. One is data definition language. Second one is data manipulation language, and third one is data query language. So if you see first three commands of data definition language, by keyword itself we can understand what that activity will be doing, command will be doing. So create command will help us to create the structure of the data, that is nothing but tabular form. Drop will help us to remove the table from the database. Alter will help us to change the structure of the table. Okay, coming to next activity, next commands in data manipulation language, there are mainly three commands which are often used. That is insert command, which is used to insert entries or data into table. Update command is used to update the data or column or cell as per our requirement. Similarly, delete command will help us to remove row one or more row items as per our requirement. Third one is data query language. So this is the one of this is the main command which is used in whole project or in database. Wherever the database is used, retrieving data is only the actual main functionality. Okay, people will create table once, people will insert data once or twice, but to retrieve or to generate any stats reports and everywhere, only select query is used a lot. And in select query, people means we generally use where clause to filter our data or to get the actual required data. So if one person want to do perform database activity by using UiPath, so what are there should be some prerequisites. So there are few prerequisites which we have listed. So one is database server should be available, because without database server you cannot connect to database itself. Later on, if the user or the bot server doesn't fall in the database server, right, so it won't be able to access. So database server should be accessible in bot server. That is a second prerequisite. Third is the user should have credentials and the database details. And these three, if a person is working in UiPath project, obviously these details will you will get from infra team or project manager. So no need to worry that you will not be installing these all things. But you should make sure that whenever you need any kind of database related activities or things in your project, you should be aware that you should have borrow this data from the concerned team. Fourth point is for us, that is we have to install UiPath database.activities package in our studio. This is the fourth prerequisite which UiPath developer is responsible for. And to perform any data means operation in database, so these are the six queries, six activities which UiPath has provided. First one is connect activity. So name itself will help us to understand the what activity it does. Okay, so UiPath activities are named very in simple words. So connect will help us to connect to the database. Second one is execute non-query. So it will help us to execute all DML commands. So I will just show you DML commands. So data manipulation commands are mainly ran in execute non-query. And execute query is to retrieve data. That is data query language. I hope you're getting my point, right? If anything is missing, please tell me. So data query language queries are written in execute query activity. Fourth one is disconnect activity. So where we will close the connection of database. These are the basic four activities in data UiPath, by using which you can do data operations. Apart from this, we have two extra activities, that is insert activity. So if you want to insert a record in database, so obviously you will use second activity, that is execute non-query. Okay, but this will help you only to insert one record after another. But if you want to insert in bulk, if your data collection is done, you have collected the data in the form of data table, and if there are hundreds or thousands of entries and you want to insert everything in one go, then you have to use insert activity. At last we have start transaction. So start transaction is basically like, for example, if I tell you, uh, we have used attached browser activity, right? So in attached browser, how the partial selectors are there, like main window, parent window will be having the uh, what you say application selectors, and rest all activities will be having partial selectors. So in similar way, start transaction is also creating a window where it will be taking care of connecting database and disconnecting the database. No need to write the connect and disconnect activity separately. It will be creating a application scope kind of means what is a platform where you can write all the execute query, non-query inside the sequence. And if any activity fails, all the changes will get rolled back, because it won't affect any it will not cause any data inconsistency if any activity fails in between the transaction. So that can be reverted back very easily, and it's a inbuilt functionality of this activity. Now we will be seeing this activity, we will be uh, checking these activities one by one, and we will correspondingly check the result also. So this is where I have installed local SQL server for this webinar. So if you see here, first I will try to uh, let once again uh, I will just zoom this. Okay, so if you see this query, it star means all. Okay, so select all entries from project table. So I will just run this table name. So if you see, it is telling this table is not present in my database. So what I will be doing is I will be using create command to create my table. So in my table, I am just writing, means I am just having three columns. First column is project ID, second column is project name, third column is team size. So let me just create this table, and once I create this table, I will just look at to the result. So if you see, now my table is created. So table is having three columns but no entries because it's a newly created table. Next, what I will be doing is by using insert command, I will be inserting the project details. For example, let me insert this entry. So one row is inserted, and let me just see the data. If you see, project details are there. And if I explain you the syntax, it looks very simple. See, insert into table name and the columns what you want to insert the data, like column 1 comma column 2 comma column 3, and what are the values. I am keeping these string values in single quotes and numeric value directly. So let me insert second entry and show you data. So can you see the two project details are present. Let us do one thing. Let us try to delete these entries, like whether I will be able to delete these entries or not. And let us see the syntax also. Delete from project table. Now I'm specifying that I want to remove only project one. So I have to use where clause, and I will be telling I want to delete project with name project one, and string values are kept in single quotes. So once I delete it, it tells me one row is affected. It means one row is deleted. And let me check the result. So only project two is left. So same activities we will be performing using UiPath. So I'm just deleting all the tables, all the rows. And if you see, my table columns are blank. So let me do one thing. Let me go with the activities. Uh, One second. Let me show the use cases first. Later we'll go with the one activity. So first thing is how to connect and disconnect your database using UiPath. So let me do it with fresh. So suppose there is no connect activity. So first step is for us is to install UiPath database activities in our studio. So I have already installed it. So next is take your connect activity. Once you take your connect activity, you have to configure your connection. So I will be doing it from beginning. So connection wizard, I am opening connection wizard. So my server name is Microsoft SQL Server. Next is my server name. For now, my server is localhost. But when your organization provides you any IP address, you have, or host name, you have to provide that. And I'm using authentication type. So my current authentication type is Windows authentication. But if your authentication is of say SQL Server, then you have to give your username and password. Next is what is my database. So I have created test database. So once I click on OK, and I have to select system data.sql client for MS SQL. So once, so sorry, actually I forgot to show test connection. Let me do that. So there is test connection activity also, option also. If you do the test connection, you will get confirmation that your credentials are working fine or your connection is established. Localhost is my server name, database is test. Now I will be doing test connection. So if you see, test connection is succeeded. It means my studio is able to communicate with database. And once your database is connected, the output of this activity is data connection. Data type is also data connection. So with the help of this data connection variable, you can pass this authentication. It's a kind of authentication only. You are providing that authentication or the scope. The application is able to other activities will be able to connect with the help of data connection. So wherever you pass this data connection variable, that application you need not again configure this credential. So credentials you have passed only in one activity. From there you are carrying the data connection variable to rest operations. Okay. So now I will be running this. So database gets connected, and now I'm disconnecting it. Okay. Use case. So in second use case, we will be trying to insert an item. Next, we will be trying to update its column value. Next, we will be deleting that row also, and we'll see how the result are reflecting in our SQL database. So I will be debugging the code so that I can stop activity by activity and show you result. So first step is I have connected, and before inserting I will show what is the actual status, what are the how many rows are or how many records are present in my database. So if you see, there are no rows. Okay. And same activity or same query I have written in my editor also. And if you see this form of syntax also I have written in double quotes. It means we are passing our query in the form of string. So let me insert it. And if I hover you, it is related to project code 1. The data is related to project code 1. Project ID is P001 and team size is 4. So let us see whether the entries are reflected or not. So if you see, entries are reflecting. So project ID is 1 and rest of the data is matching. What is the let us check the logs also. So output of this execute non-query is number of rows affected. Like last time what happened, I tried to insert one entry and my database gave me result as one row affected. So in similar way, my UiPath is also giving this kind of result. Like it is giving me one variable which is of integer type, and if I print this value, it is telling me one row is inserted. Okay. Now let me just show you what is the current status of the table. So two entries are there. Next is I will try to update my project table. So in my project table, I am updating the team size. If you see the syntax, it is very simple. Update project table. What I'm updating is set after followed by the column name and the values. Column name is size and size value is 20. So let me insert it and let me check the number of rows affected. So one row got affected. One second. Actually, I think actually the variable here is not passed. Because of that, it is not showing the actual value. So actually it is showing the previous value. So two rows are affected actually. So even here also, actually the variable of the affected rows is not passed. So I have deleted all the project names where my team size is 20. So you can see in previous query my team size is 2. So now there will be zero team size. Means there will be no record with team size 20. So it has removed everything. Followed with disconnection. So now the database got disconnected. So in third use case, we are trying to retrieve data from project, and we will look how the project details are retrieved and in which form the data is stored. For retrieving the data, first of all, let us add some initial data. So now the table is blank. So I am adding two project details in this table. So if you see, there are two projects, and after after explaining the third workflow, we will be seeing the output in the form of this structure only. So what I'm doing is I'm using execute query for getting the details from the database, and output of this execute query is a data table, and that data table I'm again giving as input to write range activity, by which I can view it in Excel. And as per your project requirement, what we can do, we can pass this data table to anywhere. Like you can pass this for queue, you can pass this for some data operation or some data table operations. You can pass it for some formatting or some calculation. So it depends on your requirement. So let me do one thing. Let me run this query and just see how my data is retrieved. So I'm connecting database and I'm just retrieving the details of my project table. So once project table is retrieved, details are retrieved, it is stored in one variable. The data type is project. Sorry, the data type of that variable is data table. Okay, and if you see, so I am just showing the values from locals panel. You can see there are three columns in this data table, and values are project 1 and project 2, and same you can see in this editor also. And let us do right range and see in Excel also. So we have written our result in right range, means in Excel file, and we will see the values over there. So let me go to that and show you. So this is my project. So this is the project list which I have stored. So this is my result. So result is matching, right? So project 1 and project 2 details are shown, are taken retrieved from the project database, and they are written in Excel file. Okay, we're going for the next use case, that is how to insert your compatible data table in existing database table. So now what I will be doing is I will try to dump more than one value together by the input data will be in the form of data table, but I will try to dump it directly, and there will be no SQL query required also for that. First prepare some means what is a test data for it. So if you see, project 1 and project 2 are present in our database. So I'm just trying to insert 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 project in my database. So if you see the data type, data type of first two column is string, and last data table is integer. And if you see, this is only my format of table also. Two columns are in string, and last one is of data type integer. So if the data table is in proper format, then by using insert activity, we can insert your data easily. So say means steps are very simple. Connect to database, read that Excel file, get the result in the form of data table, and in insert also what we are doing, we are just telling the what is my table name and what is the data table you want to insert. It is much more simple than this query also. Like you don't need to specify anything, because at structure level these values are matching with the data type of the table columns. Okay, so let us run, and before running let us see the what is the table values. So if you see table values, means table is having only two project details, project 1 and project 2. So let me run it. So output of insert is also same, affected rows, how many rows are affected, like how many rows are inserted. So you can see 5 rows are inserted, and after disconnecting we will see the result. So you can see in Excel we have given details of project 3 to project 7. So those all details are added in database. How to use, how to manage your transaction in database. So first of all, let me tell the main difference between transaction and other data operations. So if you see this second workflow, connection is one activity, one step. Okay, next is insertion is second step. After that, displaying some logs is third step. Suppose if fourth step fails, okay, I cannot roll back these changes. I cannot like this. If the data is inserted, I cannot delete that status. Again, I have to write some code, or some person should do this removal of this data. But when it comes to transaction state, if any activity fails in between, like suppose after inserting two activities, after inserting two project details, if third activity fails, these two values will get reverted back. Okay, and the property which helps us to reverting this is use transaction. So if this is checked as true, then only it happens. If this is also checked as false, then each activity is independent of other. Like if second activity fails, first activity will not get rolled back. So make sure that if you want to use the nature of transaction, or if you want to form a flow in this manner, you have to check this property. So let us do one thing. So for example, project 3 and project 4, actually they are already present. So let me delete this, and later we will run with the last work here. So I have deleted all the values. You can see there are 0 records now. So there are 0 records. Next is, let me run this transaction code. So if you see here, I have not taken any connect activity, because by default start transaction will create a application scope for rest other activities. So its output is also same like connect activity. So data connection is the output of start transaction. So that data connection I will be passing to the child activities. So first I'm inserting one table, and I cannot see database values also, because when transaction runs, it locks the table. Okay, it will not allow other users to check the details or do any kind of changes. So for even after that, even if you want to check, right, you can read it in, like you can access the data in like in read only mode. In simple words, it's like a read only mode. It means you are not going to change any data, so transaction can run independently. So to open in that format, you have to write these two keywords, like you are reading the project table with no log. So if you see, project 3 is inserted. Okay, next is project 4 is also inserted, and we are just writing the data in one Excel. So totally two projects are, sorry, two values are inserted. So let the flow continues. So we have second transaction. If you see second transaction, this is a second transaction. So till now we have completed this first transaction. So it completed successfully. So in second transaction, we have just created a scenario where it will fail. So if you see first activity, it is having project detail 5, and currently we have project detail 3 and 4. So let us try to insert fifth project details. It inserted successfully. If you see the details, it is having fifth record also, means fifth project record also. Let us try to insert project 4. If you see in my table, I already have project 4, but still I am trying to insert it. So if you see, it failed. Okay, now let me step into, means let me continue the flow, and let us see what is the result at last. So for now, did we have three entries. So I will be not doing any, I will be not deleting any entry of this transaction or anything, but things will get rolled back, because my transaction nature is, means transaction activity, the use of transaction is like that. So so simply last transaction got failed. Hence, whatever activities or whatever operations we have done before that failure, everything should get rolled back. So I'm just checking the value. So fifth project record entry are not present. So let me check with no lock also, because now transaction is completed. So even there is no lock. So you can retrieve the data in write mode also, like all the access mode. With lock is read only mode. Okay. So you can see there is no fifth record, because my activity failed in between. So this is the feature of transaction. But If the property use transaction means you don't want to put the activity nature as transaction, then you can uncheck this. Then one after the other, everything get inserted, like project 5 will get inserted. But if project 4 fails, a database is not going to delete project 5 because it is not considering it as transaction. It is considering it as normal database activity only. So these are the 5 use cases which we have demonstrated. So now it's Q&A session. So if anyone has any queries or if anyone has any doubt, they can ask.
Hello.
Yes, Pankaj.
Yes, sir. Therefore, you have used disconnect query, disconnect activity.
Yes.
So even if we don't use that, so it will work, right? So why we every time we need it?
See, when it comes to best practices, whenever you are opening a connection, okay, of the database, so maximum time the database connection is established is 30 minutes. Okay, if there is no operation done, so it's better to disconnect it. And when you are again, if you want again a connection, so you can again request for that connection again. So it's better to disconnect it immediately.
Okay, okay,
It is similar to like how you will be using kill process. Like whenever you start a project, you are killing the process though it is not open. Okay, or once your project is started, once your applications are used, even though you are closing it or logging out the application, but still we will be killing the process. So in similar way, if the database connection is started, it should also have a smooth exit, or the disconnection should happen. Because if second request comes, database should not get busy with multiple requests. So it's better
okay, okay.
connect it
Understood.
and disconnect it so that other connections will be established very easily.
It means it will free the database.
Yes, it will free the
In
what you say client request from the database.
yeah, request will get
uh,
free.
yes, many people means many what you say operations can be done at a time, but it's better to reduce that client connection.
Yes, yes, understood. Thanks, Jabbar.
Yes.
Hello, Jabbar. I have a question.
Yes, Kirti.
Can you go to that transaction workflow?
Sure. So this is the first
So,
transaction.
yeah, this start transaction actually the output is
Data connection.
database. Okay, so this data connection it can be used uh, like after doing some click or some activities. This connection can be used so that particular transaction is active without disconnecting.
Can you repeat that click, something you said about click?
Okay, so you have done start transaction. Okay,
Yes.
start transaction, and you have couple of execute non-query things. So
Yes.
after this start connection, like I have to do some like browser activity.
Yes. Yes.
So I'll be doing that, and then I'm taking this data connection object and then again passing to another execute query or something.
Yes. Yes.
So
That will
it
not
will be
affect.
in
That connection will
that
be present.
present, and it will consider that this use
Yes. Yes.
transaction.
Yes. The only thing is everything should be present inside this sequence. If it is going out of this sequence, it means it is the connection is broken, and you have to establish a new connection.
Okay, if
But
it
make
goes
sure that
outside, yeah.
if it goes outside, then it's automatic disconnected. Like how it is connecting automatically, and it is giving you data connection string as the output variable. So once this sequence scope is completed, the database connection is completed. Okay, but if you add any click activity or UI automation or any kind of thing, like here I have added Excel. So if
Yes.
I put these Excel activities in between, so it is not going to affect anything. But if your process is too long, like if your middle operations or whatever operations you are doing, it's too long that it is taking more than 30 minutes like that, then that connection will break and you will get an error. But if it is too short, like 2 minutes or 3 minutes kind of activity or steps you are doing, then your connection is still there. And once your other than database operations are done, you can run other what you say database operation, and you can come out of this transaction.
Okay. So that
And
object is cannot be used outside this
no,
Star
outside you cannot
transaction.
use. Outside you cannot use.
Okay.
Internally, if you have any kind of other activities other than database operation, that will not affect.
Okay.
Same for this. I mean, same for this in the sense what in between connect and disconnect, you can do anything. You can do Excel operation, PDF reading, writing, anything you can do. But the
Yes.
only thing is the middle operation should not be too long that connection is disconnected by itself.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Jabbar.
Any more queries? People who are having any what is that mic issue or anything, they can also chat. Put your questions in chat. Okay then. So it was like means people have asked good questions. So in future, if you need any kind of support in database, obviously just feel free to connect with us. Okay.
Yes, Jabbar.
Okay.
Sure. It was a great webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.